Well, here we are at the Sage, I guess you could call it the Sage store or the Sage service station. It was built back in 1949 when they were coming in with the lake down here, Lake Bull shows. I guess they call it the Sage shop now. It's been put back together and kind of redone here just outside of Lead Hill, Arkansas here in what they call South Lead Hill. And it was built years ago, like I said, in 1949 by Bill and Toots. Her last name was Ritchie, and his name, of course, Sage. That was her maiden name, was Ritchie. And of course, a lot of Ritchies in Lead Hill, Arkansas. And so we're here today just to spend some time with the Sage family and check out what we call the Sage shop. They have done a wonderful job of refurbishing this wonderful, wonderful site here that gives us a lot of history into Lead Hill, Arkansas and South Lead Hill. And we'll go inside and just take a look at some of the pictures and some of the things on the wall and check out the Sage shop. Well, here we are inside the Sage service station, or it's called the Sage shop now, and there's so many interesting things in here to look at. And Mrs. Charlotte Sage is here, of course, from the Sage family, and she's going to share some things, right, Charlotte, about the family. Go ahead, Charlotte.
The original station is here in the middle, and it was built in the summer of 1949. Toots is there in the picture with Billy John and Judy Ritchie and Kenna Ritchie on her skirt tails. Over here is Bill Sage, and on the right is Toots Sage. It was originally opened as Bill's service station, and a garage was later added for Bill to do lubrications and some automotive mechanical work. These are all pictures of the Sage and Ritchie family with Max, Jim, and John's not in it, but in their families, along with Granny Ritchie and Grandpa Ritchie.
Now, who is this up here, Charlotte, with the mules on this side?
That's Bill Sage. He came from California after the war and married Toots, and they tried to make him a farmer, but it didn't take.
He wanted to do a service station.
Right, and this is Grandpa Ritchie at the farm with his pigs.
All right, all right. And down here is this
That's Bill
also?
Horse with Grandpa Ritchie and his donkey, and I don't know the name of the donkey, but I think Billy John does.
Okay, now Charlotte, I see some music down here, and I majored in music in college.
Did you?
And it says there's a lump of sugar down in Dixie.
Right.
A lump of. Now, can you sing that for us?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd check. You know, you always check with these people to see if they're singing for it. But I wish I knew that song.
I bet you do.
What's this? I came here
to talk for Joe.
I came here to talk for Joe. What's this other one? I can't read it.
My Isle of Golden Dreams.
Oh, mercy. So.
Those are old.
Well, I'll just tell you the truth now. I don't know how old you are, but they're a lot better than what we got now.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and let's switch over here. Let me switch places with you, Charlotte, and let's get on the other side and explain a little bit about what we've got here.
Okay. This was the Holt wholesale and retail grocery store that was opened in 1950. This is Toots Ritchie. Now, this store was across the street where the old flea market is now. And this is Billy John playing basketball. And this is also Billy John when they lived in South Lead Hill.
Now, who's Billy John? That's
my husband, Bill.
Okay, so that's your husband?
Yes. And this is Max and his two kids, and Billy John with Jim, 5 kids right there. So
how many children? Now this is Bill and Toots' children.
This is Bill's and Toots' son, and Toots' brother, and their children.
Okay.
This is John Bagley, who was Granny Bagley's brother, and he was a race car driver and owned his race cars. So that's why this is up here. This again is the Hope retail store, and this is Helen Tillman in the picture and Mary Jane Hunter.
Now, Charlotte, the Hope retail store was downtown Old Lead Hill?
No, it's
out here
across
south?
the street.
Oh, across the street here? Okay, all right, from this service station.
Right across the street from the service station.
Now, what was the Hope first name, the Hope?
John Roy, I believe.
That's right, John Roy. That's right, I heard my dad talk about that.
Yeah, and then this again is just a picture of the Sage family and the Ritchie families.
All right. Okay.
So, All of these pictures are either Bill and Toots or Toots' family.
Now this building, the original building is here.
The original
from
building.
1949.
Yes, this is the original building, and all that we did was put a new roof on it, which is the same type of roof that was on the building in 1949, and then redid the inside. We then added the garage to it in 2012. So here we are in the finished product.
Right. Now the station is on the right-hand side.
Right.
Here's the wholesale store, and going up the hill there's toward Harrison.
That's correct.
Okay, so I got my bearings now.
Yeah, before it was paved, and Jim Ritchie's house is on the left where that old school bus is.
Oh.
And Granny Ritchie's house is above the old station up there. Our house wasn't built yet.
Okay.
But that this whole area is part of that picture. The picture above is across the street at the Hope store, and that was the feed store. And that's Phil Ritchie standing there in the hallway, in the doorway, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And then John Ritchie's over here. So those two pictures still are out here in the front before the paved road was put in. And of course the building's still standing, but it's been changed a lot and no longer resembles that.
Now these two pictures are here in South Lead Hill.
Correct.
But the two pictures over here, both of these are in old downtown Lead Hill.
Old downtown Lead Hill. The picture on the bottom, the big house is the hotel. And that hotel burned, but I don't know in what year.
Okay.
And it was a very prosperous town, and this is the south end of Lead Hill, and it went all the way to the rodeo arena.
Now, the house, the building there with the little walkway going up to it, do you have any idea what that is?
I think that was not a livery stable, blacksmith shop.
Blacksmith shop, okay.
But I'm not sure.
Okay. Now the top picture is the Magnus and Phoenix store. Is the Mogul wagons, that's a brand of wagons that they handled.
Correct.
Okay, like we talk about cars and so forth today. You know any of these people on the front porch of the Magnus?
The only one that is identified is the one on the far right, and it was James Carter Phoenix, or Jim Phoenix.
The man in the suit?
The man in the suit.
You know who he looks like? He looks like Jess Crosswhite's the way he's standing there, but that's not him.
No. These were both in the 1890s.
Okay. All right, that's a long time ago.
This glass up here was out of the house that was moved out of the original Lead Hill, out of Old Lead Hill. It's in the house that they lived in, and they brought it out and they put it up here in the Ritchie house, and much of the doors and woodwork and all that stuff was brought from the Old Lead Hill and put in these houses.
That is something else. That is something else. Well, if it could talk, it could say a whole lot more than you and I've said today.
That's right. Memories.
Yes. That's a wonderful, wonderful time, I believe, in history, and we've enjoyed being here at the Sage shop, and which was the old Sage service station years ago. And we've enjoyed so much being here with Charlotte. Thank you so much. Thank you and Bill so much for allowing us to be a part of this, and it was just such an enjoyable time. So here we are in South Lead Hill, Arkansas, at the old Sage service station.